Hello, my angelic besties, episode 56, my month with a billionaire. So, me and my little baby Kristen have just got the scalding from Dana on the phone, and we know that we're caught. We get back to the Mansion of Madness, and we're like, all right, we're gonna have to be a little bit more careful and figure out who we can trust and who our allies are, because either, like we said, Dana's got some hidden ass camera in her room, or Maria is not the down bitch that we thought that she was. We go inside, and Chef Drew is preparing dinner and everything, and Harley is already back. He is upstairs taking a shower. We go into the kitchen, and we're like, hello, Chef Drew, and he's over there being his little cutie self, and his hair had gotten very long at this point, y'all. Like, men's hair grows so fast. It literally had been, like, 2.5 weeks since I met him. His hair was already like getting so shaggy, and he kind of had it clipped a little bit in the back with like this tiny little hair clip, which I thought was really cute. And he was like, oh, hello, ladies. We're like, what you making there, chef? He was like, I'm making you guys a lovely mushroom asparagus cream risotto, some bread, and a Greek salad for dinner. And I have a lovely white wine that's going to go with it. And my baby Kristen was like, oh, actually, I'm going out with Jason tonight. I'm not going to have dinner with y'all. And I was like, okay, so it's just going to be me and Harley, which is good because we have things to discuss. Kristen goes in her room so she can get ready, and I'm sitting there at the table, and Maria is in the living room just kind of cleaning. And I was like, hey, Maria. And she was like, oh, hi, Miss Cat. I was like, how you doing? And she was like, great, great, great. And we're kind of chatting, and I was like, yeah, our day was good. We went shopping, and the boys were all out having lunch at the Ivy, and Chef Drew was like, ugh, the Ivy. I'm like, what? And he's like, it's overrated. I'm like, well, you're just mad about anyone that doesn't eat your cooking, sir. And Maria's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah. And then we were on our way back, and Dana had called us, and Chef Drew's like, oh, how is the warden? And I was like, oh, she was just checking up on our boy. She was just making sure that he's been behaving and that we've been keeping him in line, even though he is very perfectly capable of keeping himself in line, I think. And, she was just asking how we were and stuff. And I'm just kind of like looking at Maria, trying to get a read on anything. And if she knows something, she is not giving anything away, because she's just over there doing her little sweeping and her, reaching over on the curtains and lint rolling them or whatever it is that she's doing over there. And I'm like, yeah, so you've known Dana for a long time, haven't you, Maria? And Maria was like, just as long as I have been here at the house. And I was like, yeah, Dana thinks that me and Kristen are trouble. I'm like, what do you think of Dana, Maria? And Maria was like, oh, she's a nice lady. Like, I've never had a problem with her. I know that she has certain rules and stuff for Harley, but that's part of her job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm like trying to get more info, but Maria is being very, very stone cold with her answers. And Drew's like, Dana's an interesting girl. He's like, she doesn't eat dessert. She hates sweets. And I think that's strange when a girl doesn't like sweets. I'm like, Chef Drew, I don't exactly always love sweets. And he was like, you've always eaten all of my sweets. I was like, because you make them with love. But I was like, I am a salty girl, and I will eat sweets, but I have to be like in the mood for it. It's not like I get a craving, but I mean, obviously if there's dessert, she's not stupid, she's gonna eat it. And he's like, well, good, because I'm making a nice little parfait for dessert. I'm like, that sounds delicious. I love fruit, right? So Harley comes down, and he is wearing his little Adidas shorts with some little Hermes slides and his white t-shirt, and he has just towel drying his hair, and he's like, hey, beautiful. I'm like, hello. I'm like, it's just gonna be me and you eating dinner today. And he's like, okay, well, do you want to eat it outside, and we can have like a little romantic dinner? He's like, Maria, can you put out some candles and stuff and set up the dinner table for outside so we can eat out there and look at the view? Maria's like, yes, of course. And then Harley's like, hey, come with me upstairs, I'm gonna show you something. I'm like, okay. So when we had gone shopping and stuff, Harley had gotten Jack to bring the rest of our stuff here, and he took me upstairs, and we went into the vault. And like I told you, Harley had two very large walk-in closets. So the one that was his was like a huge walk-in closet that had all full length head to toe mirrors. It almost looked like it could have been like a ballet room, but it's obviously a closet. There's no middle area with shelves or anything on the middle. It's just one big rectangular closet with all things on side of it. And then towards the back behind his bed, there was another walk-in closet that actually did have a very large middle area that you could sit at, actually, with some like little couches. So you walked in, there was a all encompassing shelves on either side, and the middle was a round, what I call a medium, but it is a middle area island, and then it had little cushions surrounding it. So here's the middle island, and then there's like a little cushion bench around it so you could sit there and try things on. It was a very well set up closet, and it was a closet that his ex used to inhabit and was clearly made for a girl because it was definitely more feminine. It had a chandelier on the top, and that was kind of where I had staged a lot of my stuff because I had moved in most of my stuff from my other spare bedroom into there. We walk in and I literally look around, y'all, and I felt like Carrie in Sex and the City because they had set up all of my clothes and shoes and things that we bought and all the stuff from the extra room into that closet. And it was all organized. My like organized brain was feeling so good because it was all organized from tube tops to tank tops to the sleeve length and then the color, and then the pants were all hung up, and then the dresses and my shoes and stuff. And no, I didn't have like a ton of stuff over there, so it definitely didn't fill up the whole thing, but it did look really nice in there. And he was like, what do you think? And I was like, wow, that was really nice of you. And he was like, yeah, well, you always said that having a dream closet is kind of your thing and you would prefer that over getting engaged to someone. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, you do remember that? He's like, well, you told me that you're not having kids, but you are going to have a closet full of accessories, clothes, purses, and bags, and that your accessories and clothes are your kids. I'm like, good man, you do remember. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm thinking that giving you your dream closet might entice you to stay here forever. I'm like, okay, Harley. And he's like, yeah, I mean, you haven't really been looking for a new place the past few days. I'm like, well, we've been busy. We were in Vegas and we've been here. But, I had it was true. I kind of hadn't been prioritizing looking for a new place because I was focused on doing things with Harley and stuff like that. And I had also been seeing my friends and stuff here and there whenever I wasn't hanging out with Harley. And so it was definitely a situation where I had kind of put it on the back burner. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm going to start looking for a new place again, Harley, because, I can't stay here forever. And he was like, you can. He's like, but, I don't know if the Encino life is for you. I'm like, we'll see. We go downstairs to go have dinner. We go outside, and Maria had set up the outdoor area in a very cute fashion. The big table was set up with this gorgeous green runner. It had candles, all different sizes out there, and our little area for food. We sat down across from each other at this like big 16-person table. We were just over there on the end looking at the beautiful Encino Mountains and the gorgeous sky in Los Angeles. And Chef Drew brought out the first course, which was the Greek salad, and it had the most gorgeous plump tomatoes with some lovely fresh herbs that were actually picked from the side of the garden. I didn't realize this, but Harley was like, oh yeah, I have a little garden over there. He's like, Maria takes care of it. I'm like, oh, and he was very proud of it. I was like, are you out there like hoeing the garden, just doing stuff? He was like, no, I don't be doing that. I'm like, oh, okay. That seems unsurprising for you at all that you're not out there farming your own fruits and vegetables, sir. And we had this fresh ass salad and we're just chatting, and he's like, we're having a nice conversation, right? We're just talking about the day and shopping and how nice it was for him to see his friends, and that the next day he was going to go golfing actually with Kristen's dad, Bob, and Jim, and how he was very excited to do that, and how he was happy that he reconnected with his friends, and he was looking forward to building more memories and trust with them again. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy for that. And he's like, yeah. So did Xander text you today? I'm like, no. I keep eating. I'm like, yeah, that's really great because I have some things I have to do tomorrow. I'm probably going to meet a friend. And then actually tomorrow night, a really good friend of mine is having a comedy show, and Kristen's going to come, but I wanted to see if you wanted to come as well. And he was like, oh, what time is it? I'm like, oh, it's at this time. It's in the Valley. And he was like, okay, I'll think about it. He was like, I don't know how tired I'm going to be after golf, but like, I'll think about joining you. I'm like, yeah, it's a good friend of mine. You can meet him and stuff. And he's like, okay. So last night after, did you text Xander back? I'm like, darling, why are we focused on Xander? Again, like, we've had a really nice day. You were not a very happy man last night, but you slept on it. And I just want to let you know there's nothing to be worried about. You're okay. You're safe. I am here with you. I am in your house. I am not with Xander. If I wanted to be with Xander, I would be with Xander. Understand that I know very much so that I have freedom of choice, and I am a woman that very much leans into her freedom of choice. So if at any point I suddenly decide that I'm madly in love with Xander and I want to run off into the sunset with him, I will let you know. You will be the first to know. But as it stands right now, I'm very happy in this situation with you. And I am even happier when you trust me and you don't question me on Xander or any other men and where my loyalties lie, because I'm here with you because I want to be and no other reason than that. Can you leave it at that? He takes a sip of his wine and he just goes, okay. And I said, I understand that you have uncomfortable feelings around this, but trying to grow and emotional growth is about sitting with uncomfortable feelings. And y'all, that is something that I have had to learn a lot. If you watched my Who the Helly series, and you know that I was cheated on multiple times, and I have had a hard time trusting men after that, and just my whole life, from, you know, growing up in an abusive household with my dad and everything, and just my dating history and my relationship with men in general. But there are times when we are going to have to sit with really uncomfortable feelings that we have no control over. And that is up to us to build our own trust around ourselves and safety, and know that no matter what happens, even in uncertainty, you will always be okay. And this is why I talk about the law of detachment all the time, because the law of detachment is so that you are never attached to anyone or any situation to where they can hurt you in a way that makes you feel like you are stuck, lonely, or going to drown without them. And I knew that I was enjoying being with Harley then, but I didn't need him. And that's the thing, ladies. Any situation that you're in, you don't need that man. I don't care if he's financially providing for you. I don't care if he's the father of your child. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't need a damn person in this world except for yourself. So build that wall around yourself and so much safety in the home that you've built in your own spirit and your own heart and soul, that you know that no one can ever make you feel like you can't survive without them. And I was trying to explain to Harley that he can feel safe while still feeling uncertain. And sitting in that space of uncertainty, building safety around that, is the only way that you can grow in your own confidence in yourself and not have insecure attachments and relationships. He was like, okay, I'm going to sit with the uncertainty. I was like, great, because I'm not talking about this anymore. I don't want to talk about Xander. I want to talk about you and me. I want to talk about you and me. And I want to talk about the things that we have planned this week, because we have a lot of really fun things planned this week with Jack that he is putting the schedule on. Like, he was like, okay. He's like, what do we have planned this week? I'm like, tomorrow you're going to have golf. And he doesn't know this, but I was meeting with Presley. Presley was going to come over and we're going to work on things, because we were going to work on the invitations and finalizing everything, musical guests, blah, blah, blah. And while he was having golf time with his buddies. And then after that, he was telling me that Lana, his friend that he was very excited for me to meet, she was going to come over and spend some time with us as well. And then his business manager was also going to come over at some point the next day, because we were going to talk to him about Harley starting his own sort of foundation and what that would look like, because that was something that was important to him. He wanted to help youths with either golf or addictions or something, because these were his interests. And I was really encouraging him to try to find these interests outside of his dad's, you know, thing that he had built. So we knew that we were also going to be meeting with old Money Monty about these things. Old Money Jonesy about these things. Old Money Man CPA about these things. And Harley was like, oh, and my mom's... And Harley was like, oh, and my sister Carrie said she was going to be stopping by the house to drop some things by Jack that was for the flower foundation that their mother had started, you know, that Carrie was a part of. And that was actually a ruse. And he was actually going to be at golf during that time. And Carrie was coming by to help me with the invites. And he was like, so, you know, you can have lunch with Carrie while she's here. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to see her. He doesn't know that we've been conspiring already. We finished eating. We have our dessert as well, the lovely risotto. And we have a wonderful bottle of white wine, and then we have our parfait dessert. We say goodnight to Chef Drew. We go upstairs, and we were gonna just go watch a movie in bed or whatever before we went to bed. And we're in the bedroom just kind of watching TV, and he was like, okay, I also had Jack pick something out for you as well while we were out. I'm like, oh yeah, what is it? And he was like, well, go check one of the drawers in the closet of yours, the first drawer. I'm like, okay. I go in there, y'all. I open it up, and it's a bag from Agent Provocateur. If you don't know, it is a high-end, very cute lingerie company. And I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to get freaky. I'm like, okay, I open it up. It is this gorgeous piece, black and red, like this. Comes out into triangles. It's like a tight little, like, crosses with bows and stuff, and the garter, you know, stockings and everything. And he comes in, he's like, you want to put it on? I'm like, obviously. I'm like, okay, go back in the bedroom, Harley. I'm like, let's see how this goes. I put on the outfit and I sashay my walk out, And I'm like, hello. I'm like leaning against the wall. And he was like, damn. I'm like, what do we think? And he was like, I think that Jack is a great chooser of outfits. He's like, he may be gay, but he knows lingerie. I was like, of course, gays know all girl things. Like, hello. I go over, we're kind of flirting and da 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 da, you know, we start like messing around. And he's kind of like talking to me, you know, like whispering sweet nothings and dirty things. And then he goes, oh, yeah, you know, like Lana's just gonna love you. I'm like, what? That was weird, okay? That was weird, y'all. The fact that he brought up his friend Lana, who was coming to visit us the next day, while we're getting intimate. Clock that. I'm like, Lana, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, no, like nothing. I'm just saying that, like, she's going to love meeting you. I'm like, why are you bringing her up right now in the middle of you doing sexy talk on me? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, oh, no, sorry. My brain is just everywhere. Like, I was just thinking about how she's, you know, going to be coming here and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. At the time, though, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, because we're in the moment, right? But y'all, if you have a feeling like that, never ignore that, because that feeling will come into play later and you'll realize that your womanly intuition is always correct the first time. We're kind of messing around and I am, again, talking him through it, trying to get him through the intimacy stuff. I'm trying to talk about his and I connection while also bringing into the things that he likes as well, trying to rewire his brain. We end up going all the way, doing it. It was a whole thing, y'all. It was the patience of a saint for me because I was like, I've never had to work this hard, right? But it was good. And I was thinking like, damn, like as much as I want to help this man, y'all, definitely things in my mind was I wish it was just easy. I wish I could just go over there, show up, be like a regular dude, and we could just do the thing, and then it was just easy and bada bing, bada boom, right? But with him, it was a whole process of talking through things and making sure he feels safe, but making sure that he still feels like he is getting what he needs because his brain is wired in a certain way. So I was just doing the best I could, and I was kind of tired after, to be honest. So we both finish. I kiss him goodnight. We go to bed. I big spoon him, and the next day rolls around. I wake up, y'all, and I actually feel the bed being moved next to me. And apparently, I had slept light that day because this is the first time I've actually ever woken up to Maria fixing the side of the bed next to me. I look over at her, and she's like, "Oh," she like was pulling the blanket. And she just like paused. And she looks at me and I was like, oh, Maria, you're fine. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's like, Harley always tells me to come in here and make it without like waking you up. I'm like, girl, you're fine. Like I've been here for, now it's day 18, y'all. I'm like, I've been here for 18 days. You ain't never woken me up once. So like, don't worry about it. I had to get up anyways because I have a long day. I get up and the blinds are opening. The sun is shining. It's another beautiful day in the Mansion of Madness. I walk downstairs. As I'm walking downstairs, I hear a girl's voice laughing in the kitchen area with Chef Drew and Harley. And I'm walking downstairs, and as soon as I turn towards the kitchen, I see two large Rimowa bags, one black one and one silver one, a huge ass duffel bag, and a big Goyard tote bag. And sitting at the very far left chair at the kitchen island is a woman probably in her early 40s. She is wearing a white button up, some low-rise jeans. They look like they're probably like Acne or Colt Gaia, and some little slides on. They're like little Gucci slides. And her dark brown hair is just tied up in like a little clip, kind of like this. And she's definitely very pretty. She looks like casual. Like if you know Venice Beach moms, they're all kind of casual wear. They don't wear a ton of makeup. They're just kind of naturally pretty. They've got like some wrinkles from sun damage from just being outside all the time with their young kids, but they look like they go to Viore sales and the Pilates class nearby. And she, if I would give her a celebrity doppelganger, I would say she probably resembles like a mix between a 40-something-year-old version of Minnie Driver and Raquel Weiss or Rachel Weisz. I don't know if it's Rachel or Raquel. You can tell me which one. But she looks like a mix between those two women. Just a very classic brunette beauty. And she's like sitting there, and next to her is Harley, and then next to Harley is Maria, and then Drew's over there, and they're just kind of like laughing. And I walk in, and Harley's like, "Oh, there she is," and I'm like, "Hello," and the woman gets up. She walks over to me, and she just goes, "I have heard so much about you," and immediately, y'all, she had one of those auras that I could tell was immediately just like a very warm, friendly, like inviting aura, right? Whereas like I'm very warm, but I'm also chaotic. So I'm like, "Oh my God, hi." And I'm like, "Hi." And Harley's like, "This is Lana." I'm like, "Oh my God, Lana, I've heard so much about you." I go up, I hug her. And she was like, "Oh," and she looks at Harley, she goes, "She is everything you said." I'm like, "Okay, I like this lady." And Lana's like, "He was just telling me about just your gorgeous skin, and it is just the softest." I mean, she's like touching my arm, and she's got a very sensual vibe, right? Absolutely, already I like love this woman. And she's like, "I heard that you have a full day and Carrie's coming. I can't wait to see her." And she's just got this very calm and just very lovely energy, right? And Harley's like, "You girls are going to have fun today." And he's like, "I'll have Jack when he comes here, put your stuff over in the room." I'm like, "Oh, are you staying here?" And Lana's like, "Yeah, I just moved back from New York." And Harley's like, "Yeah, Lana's place, she has a condo in Beverly Hills that's actually getting renovated because there were people that were tenants staying there for a while. So it's going to be renovated, and then she's just going to be staying here for a couple weeks." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Had no idea that there was going to be another guest at the Mansion of Madness, but I guess Lana's here to stay. And Harley's like, "Yeah, she usually stays in the room that you were in next to Dana. And I just figured because you've been staying in my room that that's okay." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, of course." And she's like, "I'm so sorry to kick you out of that room." She's like, "I love it though because the sunlight comes in at the exact hour that I usually wake up, and I usually like to do my Kundalini in the morning." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "No worry, girl, Kundalini on." Like in the morning, I'm in Harley. So I'll just move all my stuff. And Harley's like, "No, no, no, don't worry. Like, Jack's going to be already on it when he comes here to grab me. He'll fix everything up and stuff." And she's like, "And you, Kat," she like grabs my hand. She's like, "What do you have going on today?" I was like, "Oh, well, Carrie's going to come here. Her and I are gonna chat and like hang out a little bit. I have some work to do with Kristen and things like that." And she was like, "Oh, whatever you have going on, like I would just love to be around you and hang out with you and Kristen, like whatever you're doing, if it's not too much trouble, or I can just be at the house here because I don't really have work to do, so I can just kind of exist where I am." I'm like, "Oh, girl, you're fine. Like whatever you want." And as soon as Kristen wakes up, she walks out and she's like, "Lana." And Lana's like, "Oh, Kristen, hello." She like gives her a hug, and Harley's like, "All right, great." Jack gets there. They move all of her stuff up to my previous bedroom. Harley and I give each other a kiss, and him and Jack leave. And I am left there with Kristen and old Mama Lana. And Lana is just like, "All right, well, I am going to go take a nap because I have been traveling. But when Carrie gets here, please, do come and wake me up." And Kristen's like, "Yeah, we'll send someone to get you." And she's like, "Okay, yeah." And Kristen's like, "Yeah, Maria will come get you," or whatever. Maria's like, "Yeah, I'll come get you." And Lana's like, "Oh, great." And she's like, "Oh, it's so great to be here again." She basically floats, the woman floats up the stairs. And I look at Kristen, and Kristen's like, "How long is she staying?" And I was like, "Apparently she's staying here for a couple weeks because her place got renovated and she's moving back now." And Kristen's like, "Wait, she's not with her partner anymore?" And I was like, "No, apparently Harley said that they broke up." And she was like, "Oh, I'm not surprised by that." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Come on." We go into Kristen's room. Kristen's like, "Yeah, Lana's partner, her name was, we're gonna call her Minka." She's like, she was this amazing half Japanese potterist that was living in London for a long time. And then her and old Lana met in New York. And so they've been together for the past few years. But they were kind of like in an open situation. Like they broke up all the time, and then they would like screw other people and blah, 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 blah. I was like, "Okay, so Lana and her lady have now broken up, I guess." And she was like, "I guess." She was like, "Honestly, like, I'm pretty sure Lana cheated on her all the time." Or they had like an open arrangement because Lana would always be seen with other men and women when I would see her in New York, and she'd be out dating, and I would never see Minka with her. Like they were together at parties and stuff, but pretty sure they just had an ongoing open thing. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Well, apparently she's moving back here." And Kristen's like, "That's very interesting." And I'm like, "Why is it so interesting?" And she was like, "And she's staying here?" And I was like, "Yep." And she was like, "Harley." I'm like, "What is it? What are you not telling me?" And she goes, "Lana met Harley and the gang because she used to come to the Segsy parties." she was someone that would attend. So yes, y'all, next episode, how is Lana going to be in all of this? Soon we have Harley's party. Soon we're going to see how everything starts to break down. I love you and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.